And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK Show, and this is going to be episode 461. So I hope you guys had a great day, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week that is ahead of you. And in this episode of the MSK Show, we actually have one topic for you guys tonight for this episode of the MSK Show, and that will be on Grant Morrison goes off on Lantern's teaser trailer. So Grant Morrison, a comic book writer legend in some people's eyes, not a lot of people's, but a lot of people's eyes, depending on which year you were born. So it depends on if you were born in like pretty much the 2000s, he was probably like your comic book writing hero to you. But if you're someone who was born pretty much any decade before that, between the 60s and the 90s, probably not. So I've consumed a lot of Grant Morrison opinions over the years. So it's crazy. I have a lot of his work over here actually too. And what's crazy with people in the comic community? I can actually appreciate someone trying something different out with the characters sometimes than the status quo, only if it's kind of written in a certain way where it's like palatable, right? So as you guys know, Grant Morrison made some pretty interesting comments, I'll say, about the Lanterns teaser trailer that dropped about 2 weeks ago. And as I told you guys on the MSK Show episode for Monday, when we were here with Bob Loves Movies, you guys should go check out his channel. Actually, a pretty cool guy. Known him a long time.
Yeah, Bob's cool.
We were going to actually cover Grant Morrison's comments on the Lanterns teaser trailer. And, Grant Morrison's actually been on a roll recently. He also criticized James Gunn's Superman movie with very similar criticism towards a lot of people. And it's really crazy to me that people will always use like these barrier of entries for what they consider criticism. There's like that meme that's on like the internet where it says, it's like that one guy that looks like this. And the caption goes like, the worst person you know just made a point you agree with. And their usual barrier for criticism is like, well, you shouldn't be criticizing comic books unless you've written one. You shouldn't be criticizing movies unless you make one. Now, okay, there is some level to that. I agree, there is some level to that. Like if you're in that kind of field, it must feel very jarring that someone's not in that field is criticizing, but that's not how other things in life go, because on the other opposite end, I could say, well, then what, like these people always will criticize like NFL quarterbacks for not doing X and X thing. Well, how would you know what they should do? You're not a quarterback. You've never played football in your entire life. Like, how would you know? Like, see, that argument that people give where like, if you're not the X thing in that X industry, it doesn't really hold enough weight, though. It only can hold weight for a little bit, but then there's plenty of other things where you don't need to be in that type of industry to levy criticism. Like, okay, let's say I go to a restaurant and, like that, they have like, sometimes they're having a new item and they'll have like their workers give you a little bit to see if you actually like it and taste it, so you buy more of it. It's pretty simple, right? Now, keep in mind, I've eaten food my entire life. I think I would be a pretty good judge of what good food and bad food is based off my own tastes and preferences. I don't have to be like in the food industry to know that, right? It's crazy is people like them will ask for opinions based off casuals or normal people, but then get mad at what criticism is. Like there's people in the comic book industry that I know where if certain websites of X characters, when they get new books out, don't give that comic book a glowing review, like pretty much like that an 8, 9 out of 10. Essentially, the writer of the book will be like, "Hey, why are you guys not giving it, more praise?" It's like, well, we're not a shill website, we're just giving our opinions on this stuff, So I will also say, like the people that talk like that, whenever it's someone on their team that they think calls things out, they're like, "Whoa, no, he's wrong." But wait a minute, they're wrong? That's crazy, because I've always noticed that if it's someone that they like that says something that they don't like, then apparently their opinion doesn't mean anything, right? So like Grant Morrison talked about what we said about the Superman movie. The action was kind of lacking. Superman wasn't strong. He didn't win any fights. This is stuff that all of us have said, even though some of us like the movie more than others. It's a basic thing. We all just kind of know with the movie. But some idiot, dickhead retard would be like, "But you don't make movies, so your opinion doesn't mean anything." But he said the same thing. So does Grant Morrison's opinion not mean anything? It's like when you start putting these like labels and barriers to criticism, then you're just proving that you just can't take it, or you just You could just say you just disagree, which is fine. But saying that there needs to be like these levels to criticism, it's like that's ridiculous. And but like I said before, it just depends on what you're talking about, and it also depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for the opinions of the average person, that's going to vary among anyone, given someone's experience with said IP or not. So, oh yeah, Joe's here actually.
Yeah, the as far as that opinions go, I mean, yeah, you can say, well, a lot of people do that. Well, have you ever written a comic? Have you ever made a movie? Well, no, but you can still have an opinion. And if you've watched a lot of movies or read a lot of books, you understand storytelling. That doesn't mean because you didn't write or you didn't make a movie, you don't understand what's good or bad. It's the same thing. If you go get surgery done and your doctor leaves a big scar in your stomach, and you say, well, shouldn't it look like that? And he's, well, have you ever taken an appendix out? I mean, you kind of know what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah.
And I hate that, because you'll see that a lot on like X or Instagram or any social media. You'll say, well, I didn't like, we'll just throw this out there. I didn't like Star Trek, Starfleet Academy. And what's the response? Well, what show did you make that was better? Well, what are you talking about? That's like, that has nothing to do with anything. It's like you look at a painting and you've never painted, but you can say, I really enjoy that painting or I don't like the painting. Now, if you're not a painter, you might not understand like how the colors blend or shading or like those thick brush strokes or anything, but you do have an objective opinion if you like something or not. And that's why when Grant Morrison came out and he criticized what Lindelof said about lanterns, I mean, he's a creative, like Lindelof's a creative. So I guess he holds a little more, I wouldn't say value to his opinion, but it holds a little more weight because he's been part of picking up IPs and working within that IP. And he did like Justice League and a few other comics that are slipping my mind at the moment. I just remember his Justice League run because I read that whole thing. And so he understands what it means to take over an IP that exists and then do something within it.
Like, yeah, he's written stuff that people like, actually. He's one of the only people that I've seen in the X-Men world that has actually written something besides like Josh Whedon that has actually got people like going, you know what? Yeah. Even though this is not as good as the older stuff, this is actually a pretty solid, good thing right here. So, like, I don't even get that among some of these people. It's like, even when someone that they deem is on their side says something that they don't agree with, then apparently that means that their opinions are now automatically irrelevant. It's like, you guys are not defeating the it's a cult, allegations anytime soon.
Well, that drives me nuts is when people, if you don't like somebody, whether it's for their political opinion or like you get in the Marvel versus DC and somebody's a Marvel lover and a DC hater and they attack DC, maybe they attack Superman, the Superman movie, and you like Superman movie, but because a guy hates it, you automatically over defend it. And you can take opinions from people you disagree with and on an overall, like you may disagree. Like someone may think, well, I hate DC, it all stinks. And you might disagree and love DC. But say you hated the Superman movie and this guy you hate, or not you hate, but he hates DC, hated it too. You don't automatically have to say, well, now I have to defend it because somebody I disagree with hates it as well, so I can't agree with them. That's a problem is everybody seems, it's real big in politics where everybody seems, this is my side, this is this side, and no matter what happens, I can't agree with that side. And that bothers me too in fandom. If you, like, and I admitted on this podcast before, I think it was one with Bob a few weeks ago, where sometimes I felt I was overcompensating on a movie that I may have liked, and I know someone didn't like, but I may talk it up a bit more just because I liked it. And I wanted my feelings validated or my opinion validated. So when it comes to opinions, everybody's entitled to one and they shouldn't be shut down. But I also don't like the blanket statement of, well, it stinks. Oh, why don't you like it? I don't know, it just stinks. Okay, well, objectively, you don't like it and it just didn't appeal to you and you don't have a reason. That's okay. But if you constantly beat up on something, you should at least have a reason why. Like you didn't like the way it looked, you didn't like the script, you didn't like the acting. I mean, there's a lot of things, but so you can just say I don't like it because I don't like it. But if you want good discussion or conversation about it, you should try to delve a little deeper. So That's, I guess, my point.
I also think
You
that
froze.
good Lord. I also think there's another problem that goes along with a lot of these things too. It's like people that have never had pushback on their opinions just think they're just universal law. So like they'll say
Yeah.
something along the lines of, "Here was when I was in my friend group, we all just unanimously agreed on this." Did you unanimously agree, or did people have minor disagreements in your agreements? So like people don't even follow in what's in their conversations. Like me and my friend James can agree on something of a principle for how something should be, but then disagree in the, I don't know, you would say the ingredients and how to make one actually. So like that's what I've noticed with a lot of people too. Like they'll agree on something, but they'll disagree on how they got to the end result.
Yeah.
So I don't even get why some people just don't understand. That's just the beauty of having a conversation. That's the beauty of it, because it's not going to always sway to your opinion with who you're talking to. You're going to get a perspective that you didn't have. And that's how you kind of reinvent yourself with a lot of this stuff, with how you think about it. I feel like a lot of issues we do run into it, in my opinion, it's my own personal subjective opinion, to how people should view more things now. I'm not even saying to just like bad shit or what you deem is bad. I'm saying that if you don't constantly reinvent the way you think to a certain extent, like expanding, maybe my view on this is a little too narrow. Let me kind of expand and see maybe the whole pie. So
Yeah. As you gain information, you might change your opinion a bit. And
yeah,
if you learn something from somebody who may know more about you about that subject, and you learn from them, that there's no shame in that. That's the problem, is you can't. It seems like, especially in this, social media age, no one can ever admit they're wrong. It just or and you can't even have disagreements. I've been in Facebook groups where just people just start calling each other names, and it's, I don't know.
there was
That's why I
one.
marvel when you actually have. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that's why I marvel when you have two people disagree and it's actually calm, and they say, "Well, that's your opinion, and that's fine, but this is my opinion," and no one's calling each other, an incel or a moron or things like that. But anyway, go. You're gonna say I was.
Oh no, so to just tackle
that.
to what you said about those Facebook groups, which is like there was one time I think I was scrolling it, and then like if you follow a lot of people, you just inherently this is what I hate about social media. If you follow a lot of people based on a lot of different preferences you have, you gain all their algorithms. Everyone's algorithm has accumulated to mine. I've been getting algorithms for everything at this point. I might as well be the algae rhythm in Space Jam.
LG, oh yeah, gosh.
Remember? Oh yeah, great movie.
I didn't see two, but that LG rhythm
was an actual villain name.
Yeah,
Rhythm.
I saw a review on it and I saw that. And I just thought it was so funny. LG rhythm.
Because Chuck Norris passed away.
Yeah.
And he's like a beloved legend to a lot of people. And then I think in some of these Facebook groups, your comments appeared in one of them. And I was just reading through them because I can't really comment on some of this stuff because I don't have time, guys, and I just do. I'm a mixture. I'm a mixed bag. So like I will comment on things I truly do want to comment on, and then there's too much at a point where I'm like, you know what? I'm just going past. I saw one of your comments to someone because this guy, he had said, wasn't that guy a bigot and a racist or whatever? Was he a MAGA supporter? And I'm sitting here going, and I just typed to him and I literally just said, so good things, right? That's it. And I just left. And the reason why people are going to be like, why would you type it to someone? Well, there's two things. First of all, through text, guys, you can't really convey personal feelings anyway, unless you can literally read between the lines, which you can in most of them. I just say things kind of like in jest most of the time, because if someone's giving you all these many labels for just having a literal disagreement of one thing, yeah, of course I'm going to say things in jest to you. Also, not everything is supposed to be taken seriously either, but I've noticed that people are always trying to find a boogeyman so much in something.
Oh yeah. And they bring up stuff people said 50 years ago, and it's just, I don't know. I get tired of that too.
Yeah, you also, and keep in mind, you also have to judge it based around the context of what time it's said too. Like if someone came out and said modern superhero movies are not good, and then retroactively 5 years later past this point said now they're better, that doesn't invalidate what they said before, because well, you have to look at the state of things, right? Yeah. I always have this conversation with box office people all the time. They for some reason in their minds, studios, let me rephrase that because I'm just a genius. Good Lord. Viral moment time. I'm joking, guys. These people are so dumb sometimes when it comes to box office. So like we've explained this to people 1,000 times, but as we go on with these shows, explain more. Studios, guys, are not spending, I'll even go very minimum, $30 million. That's a minimum anyway. $30 million is a lot of money. Studios are not spending $30 million not to make their money back. These things, there's this little thing in the world called an investment. And keep in mind, yes, depending on which business you're in, you will understand that investment can come back faster or it'll come back slower. Or there's this thing in investment where you just don't get your money back at all because it just fails. That's just how it works. You either get your money back, it fails, or you simply just wait to get your money back in more of a long game kind of thing. You actually just start thinking about. A lot of you guys do genuinely believe these studios are just burning cash just to burn cash. Yeah, there's some cynical level that they're doing it for. There's some cynical level that they're doing it for. I do not disagree with that, but they want to make their money back, because if they make their money back on the stuff that they don't think is that good, they would brag about it on their social media pages. That's why they have social media managers, right? So like if the Marvels made $1 billion like the previous one did, they would think that's a win because they invested money in something that a lot of people probably wouldn't have cared about unless the other one had its asterisks of its celebrations surrounding it back when it came out and it did well. To them, that would be great if the Marvels did very well. Do you guys know why they haven't announced a Marvels 3 yet? Is because it failed and they wasted a lot of money and they lost so much money. It's not worth the investment anymore. That's how investment works. Like it's because a lot of you guys are just, it sounds like you're young. You just don't know enough. And it's hard to explain it to you based off concepts you don't know. That's why instead of, I'm not saying argue with back people, try and expand your brain. Think about this on such a minor level. You invest, let's say you're a movie executive, you're a shareholder, you invest $30 million into a movie. So you would need like $200 million to get some meaningful profit back, because you're talking about movies, you're talking about paying actors, there's health, people acting in movies, there needs to be health insurance, because if someone gets hurt, then you go to the fucking hospital. Obviously, it happens a lot of times, right?
Health insurance. They need liability insurance because if someone gets hurt or even killed on the set.
Yeah.
I mean, that's millions of dollars in lawsuits and
yeah. So you need health insurance, you need the cast, you need the directors, writers, producers, all that's paid for. Keep in mind, that's why horror movies ain't got a better profit, because their profit margins are smaller but higher when you're talking about the marketing budget to the actual movie budget. Now, let's say the marketing budget I have is about 30 minutes. I got a $60 million movie times 60 times 2 probably puts me like 180. I need like $200 million, right? So if my movie makes 90 million, I'm not happy about that. But you should be happy with 90. No, I'm not happy with that. I didn't make that much money back. When you're talking about spending this much money, there needs to be a big return. There's no way Warner Brothers is happy with Superman making $624 million, guys. I'm sorry, it's not. Let's say Superman movie did cost, if it really did cost $400 million, which is lower than what we think here it actually costs, but let's just say in jest it did. That's a failure, okay, guys. That's not just a failure. That's a massive failure, actually, on every proportion you could think of, box office wise. And yeah, the movie could have made more money streaming in VOD. Well, I can't prove that to you because I don't have any numbers readily available to prove that. That is called talking out of my ass. In one aspect, I have proof. The other one is, you know what? I think once you say the word, I think. They're just going to be talking
I think a lot of things.
Doesn't make them true, right?
I think someday Halle Berry is going to call me up and ask me on a date, but that's not going to happen. So,
like, it's crazy if people talk about these things. It's like, I think they made money in streaming in Superman. There's any proof to that? Well, they haven't shown it. Then I can't. You see the point? You can say I think, but that doesn't mean that's not proof of anything. We have proof this movie, even if you like it, didn't make that much money. It's just what it is.
Now, this is where, when you get into people who criticize or make opinions, sometimes you have people that know the industry. Like Robert Meyer Burnett, I believe, was one of those who said that Superman with the digital release and that made some money. I can't remember the numbers. Now, he's been in the business for, 35, 40 years?
Yeah.
So he might have an idea. Now, I don't know if he has exact numbers, but there's numbers out there about how many downloads and things you can find. So these people have experience. They might be able to give an educated guess, but that's where some of the credentialism sort of comes in, where like I brought up how Grant Morrison has experience with taking an existing IP and working within that framework. So he has a little bit of legit, or I don't want to say a little bit, but he has some legitimate ability to criticize what Lindelof said. He can critique that because he's worked within that framework. And so, maybe Superman made movie money, maybe it didn't. But, like you said about this money, when they make a movie, like Disney doesn't go, hey, Kevin Feige, how much money do you need to make Doomsday? 500 million? Well, let me open the safe. And here's five. No, they get loans, they get backers. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a whole investment,
There's
and they
tax
actually
credits you get
create.
back from filming in certain places. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's paperwork, and I think I heard this before on Film Threat. I think each movie becomes like its own mini corporation where they set things up in its own name, like so they can deal with the budget. So it's like I'm not. I guess that's how they view it when they do the movie. So they they get its own P&L, profit and loss, and they can file the tax work and stuff. So I don't necessarily say it's a corporation, but it's kind of set up as its own entity within an entity. So you can't really say, okay, we're going to borrow $500 million to make Doomsday, but we're actually going to take 50 million of that money we borrowed for Doomsday, and we're going to go make, Pocahontas straight to DVD cartoon.
Yeah, you can't do that. You'll get sued.
Yeah, because you're kind of defrauding the people that invested in your movie or the bank loans.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it has to be set up on its own like system, or I guess I would say mini corporation or something, a sub corporation.
It's a mini business.
Like
Yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah,
why
it's
I
its
tell
own.
people these. That's why I
Yeah.
tell people these things. They have to be looked at as a money investment, and people
Oh,
always
yeah.
bring up like, "Well, you can't put a price on good art." Yes, I can. Actually, I
Yeah.
can. If I'm the one footing the bill, I can have whatever delusional expectations I want, and that's, to be fair, the only levied praise I give to a studio. That's it. Yes, if you're the one footing the bill, you can have whatever delusional expectations
Yeah.
you want because, well, no offense, guys, they are footing the bill. So yeah, there is a price on art. That's the problem that artists have in comic industry, or a lot of just artists in general. Keep in mind, yes, I do agree with you. Good art could to some extent take time. Not Ethan Van Sciver like 5 years time. Nah, that's just crackhead level time. But like, if come on, I have to pay these bills. And this thing of like, well, good art can't put a price on it. Yeah, you can. There's some movies that are shot in like 30 days. Actually, that movie that just came out, Ready or Not 2, was shot in 30 days. Actually, you
Yeah.
can. Come on. If I'm paying you, I want this done. There is no if. What is this thing of like you need money? I give you the money, and then now you have the expectation. What the fuck? No, I'm the boss. You do what I say. It's not how it work that way. What the hell? What kind of entitlement is that? That's entitlement.
And that's part of the whole pitch. You set up like a time frame of shooting, script getting done, casting, a target date, because the studios have to get a release date schedule, because if they have 10 movies being made, they don't want them all going out on June 5th.
And you have visual effects too. You have to.
Yeah, and they're going to want to slag those throughout a time frame. So you got to be on your time budget and your financial budget. So there's a lot of work to it. But when it comes to art, like you said, yeah, you can put a number on art, but sometimes art for art's sake is fine. You go to like an art show. We have a lot in Michigan. They'll have like arts and craft shows, and people put out their work.
There's a lot of those out. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And we go see them, and you walk around, and I've met, over the years working in the newspaper business. I've covered a few. I've been to several, and I've met a lot of artists who say, I just do this because I like it. And they don't even sell stuff. A lot of them will just get a booth, and they'll put stuff up, and they'll sell some things to recoup the cost of the weekend for, maybe gas getting out there, lunch, and their table cost. But they really just want to show their stuff. And some of the stuff, like a lot of them will sell things, but they'll have things that you can't buy. Oh man, this is a long time ago. I went to an art fair in St. Clair, which is by my house. Oh man, this is probably 20 years ago. And I just went to it, and there's a guy had a bunch of cool stuff. And I said, "Oh, what's that? What's that on your backboard?" He said, "It's just stuff I do. That's not for sale. If you want to buy anything, the stuff you can buy is on my table." I said, "Oh, okay." And I thought it was kind of weird that he would do that, but thinking about it now, or even, I may have even thought about it since then, he's probably just wants to display his stuff because he probably doesn't have an exhibit anywhere where people can come see it, and he just really enjoyed doing it. And he was a guy I don't remember, but he probably was a guy who was just doing it to meet other artists, meet people who like art. So yeah, you cannot put a price on art and things like that, but like you said, MSK, if you got $50 million and some independent filmmaker comes to you and says, can you give me, $50 million to make this movie? Guess what? You're going to want your 50 million back plus money on
Yeah.
that investment, because you could just throw that money in a bank, earn basic interest, and get money back.
Yeah. You know
So
what's
yeah,
crazy, guys?
there's,
You could do, if you have that much money, let's say you have $20 million in the bank, you could do so many things to make money back on that $20 million.
oh yeah,
Actually, for being honest with you, you could just literally leave it in certain banks. It'll just accumulate interest and actually make money just from sitting there. So
yeah,
like,
you get a high rate of you can put them in certificate of deposits that pay 5-6% over 9 months, and
mhm.
you're going to make money. I mean, you could retire. I mean, as long as you're not living like a crazy person. But
Yeah, barring
I
like
live,
taxes or
yeah,
whatever, if you have that much money
yeah,
in the bank, you don't have to work anymore in your life at all. You
yeah. I
just
live
live
like a
for
hobo, so I wouldn't need 20 million because I'm broke. But
I
I
I
make it
could
by
only
my
use
crappy
5.
paychecks.
I literally would only need like $5 million.
Well,
Or
actually, you get
no, actually, no. If I went on a game show and I won like 500K, I could probably make that work for at least 15 years. I don't live that lavishly, honestly.
yeah. But yeah, to get back on topic a little bit about, like, we were
Mhm,
talking about art and criticisms. Um, I think, like I said, objectively, like, we have the Detroit Institute of Arts, and I go there,
mhm.
very infrequently. I've probably been there 10 times in the past 40 years of my life. But I like to go, and I like the older stuff and things like that, but they have the new modern, whatever you call it, the modern arts. And I don't like it at all. And I got a friend of mine, this guy named Steve. He's an artsy dude, and his buddies are all artsy guys. And he's a really nice guy. And they'll see something, and they'll stare at it. And, wow, look at this. I wish I could do that. I'm looking at this thing, and I'm like, dude, it looks like my 5-year-old niece, smeared her diaper on the wall and threw paint on top of it. What are you talking about? This is terrible. But they understand certain things, and they studied stuff. But so yeah, there is some objectivity to it, but then there is some subjective parts of it too. Like, you can look at a movie, like I can look at Thor: Love and Thunder, and I can pick out a whole lot of writing problems because I've written and I've read a lot and I've seen a lot of movies, and I've written over thousands of articles. I've written a couple of books, so yeah, I can pick those things out because I do have a little bit of knowledge on that. But there's a movie that I think is not that great, that well written, is The Marvels. There's a lot of holes in it, and there's a lot of problems, but I actually don't mind that movie. I would never say it's good or really great, but I enjoyed watching it. And then if it's on TV and I'm kind of bored playing on my phone, I'd probably leave it on to watch it again because it's okay. But that's like my objective opinion, So subjectively, if I picked it apart, I'd say, wow, there's a lot of problems. But
Yeah,
objectively,
and that's
you know,
kind of what I say about specific movies from like not everything has to be like high art. I don't know. It's like I think the best example I always give is like not every movie has to be like this Academy Award winning Oscar nominated movie. It's like different movies, different franchises, different TV shows can appeal to a bunch of people. I would imagine it makes certain Hollywood individuals, a part of like award show committees, very mad that Scream on its 7th installment can do better box office wise than a lot of their movies. I'd imagine it does.
yeah.
They go like, why is this so appealing to people? People that like movies with a person who wears it. Could you imagine that as a concept? Like someone who thinks they make high art probably copes and sees the fact that there's a franchise out there where all the person just kills people. Not a revolutionary concept at all. Where killers are different. Every movie follows a central protagonist for pretty much 95% of the movies. And and just those movies alone can make more money than their Oscar-nominated Academy Award-winning movies. They probably cope and see like why are they probably literally go like, why is the average person so stupid? Why am I not connected with them? Because not everything has to be like this mega detailed thing. Some stuff you kind of just have like a little bit of a soft spot for it, like that original He-Man live action movie. The director ran out of
Dolph
money.
Lundgren? Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of liked that when I watched it. I didn't think it was great, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I haven't seen it in years, but
that, there's like some charm to like some of this stuff that's, not as prestige. Like someone would say, like there's a charm to like a show that looks like this compared to one that isn't like in a studio. And I'm not saying mine is not as good or better. It's just, people's interest and appeal isn't in the highest R. And keep in mind, like I said before, that's all going to be coming down to like that person's opinion, though. Like, guys, I would rather watch those movies. Those people call them B movies. Some B movies are utterly phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
To me. Now, if someone looks at B movies and go, that's not good enough, it's like, well, guys, if you were in school and you had B's on everything, that's good. C is where you start getting into like average, and D's are when you get into failing. But if we're gonna call movies like B movie, I think people call them B movies. That's fine. B movies are good. I just don't get this. Like, that's the problem with movies now with people. If it's not an A, then it's just automatic trash. And it's like, no, we should be discussing the good in a lot of the stuff, and well, bad too. Like, just because a movie's a B movie doesn't mean it's just perfect. I don't know if people get that in their mind either. A B movie probably has plenty of problems, but enjoyment is a factor when you're coming to this stuff too, guys.
Yeah, if it makes you happy. Like, you talk about B movies, like the Scream movies, people like them. They go there. People like to be scared. They have a good time with it. You look at entertainment, the highbrow entertainment might be going to the opera or going to see a musical, but also great entertainment is, if you like that kind of thing, is going to an amusement park, going on roller coasters, going on rides. I mean, that doesn't require a lot of thought. It's fun. It makes you happy. And sometimes it's just okay to watch something that makes you happy. Like I saw, I don't know if you guys ever watched in Chad or UMSK, the Sharknado movies. I watched when the original Sharknado came out. It's a really dumb movie, and it's cheesy, and it was on sci-fi.
Yeah, I know that movie.
And I watched it, and I laughed, and I watched it with some friends, and we all goofed on it. And I don't know, I watched it once. I probably won't go see it again. Actually, I did see the Riff Tracks version where they riffed on it. But it just, sometimes you watch something and it can be dumb and it just makes you happy. And that's why the criticism, like we're going to hopefully shut up and we can start talking about our topic.
What is a topic?
I know, but that's where, opinions come in, and sometimes you have a educated opinion, and sometimes you just go off a feeling. I can't explain to you why I like McDonald's French fries better than. Actually, I can't explain why I like those better than Burger King, because Burger Kings are kind of soggy, or they're not as good, they're not as crispy. But
it's crazy. Burger King fries are crinkle cut, and those are amazing fries, actually.
Well, Burger Kings, you got to get them, ask them to make them well done. If they don't cook them all the way through, they're really gross. But like,
oh, Michael doesn't care about me. It's okay, Michael. It's fine. I'm not alive. I'm just not here. It's fine.
I personally asked Michael how he was doing. That's why, because he said, "What's up, MSK and Joe?" And I said, "Hi, Michael, doing good." And then he went, "How about you?" So yeah, I show love to the chat. That's why we have a connection. That's why.
Oh, God, you don't need a connection with Michael.
Never. He's from Michigan, correct, Michael? Or was it the other gentleman that was from Michigan? I'm trying to remember.
Oh my God! Woo! WWE was wild back in the day. Holy crap! That's on YouTube. I get so many random videos. Good Lord, that's you do that. You do what I see in this video. You are gonna get mega canceled. Not mega canceled. You're going to jail. You're gonna enjoy Diddy time in jail.
I don't know, man. I get some weird.
I probably should just. Well, this episode's not gonna. No, I can't say it yet. I'm joking, guys. I'm keeping up the mystery thing. No, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a no, because I haven't heard a callback at all.
Oh yeah, the job interview.
Yeah, basically. Long story short. He said he liked what he saw, and he said, "Hey, we'll call you if you end up getting selected." I haven't got a call back yet at all, so I'm pretty sure it's a no. So,
well, when was the interview?
Just yesterday. Yesterday at 9.
Dude, you might not get a call back for, depending on the company and what the job is.
It was a Walmart, actually. Who knows?
It could take a few. It's not an overnight thing. It'll probably take about a week or so before you hear anything, because they got, especially at a big corporation, they got a lot of hoops they jump through.
Well, they said they have to hire a lot of people coming up for Easter, so that'd be crazy if you hire a lot of people and I'm not one of those lot of people. Oh, Oh my God. Fucking hell. What
Maybe they
horrible
watched
luck.
your show and they don't like your language.
Dude, what horrible luck would that be? Also, I got rejected from another job that just actually, you know what's crazy? During this show, I got rejected from a job right now. They told me, hey, we're not moving forward. It's like, oh my God, dude.
Oh, I've been rejected from quite a few jobs in the past couple of
The
years.
jobs say, like, if you have experience, that's more valuable. But if you don't have experience, so either you get rejected from jobs from two different ways. You have experience because they think you're not going to leave the current job you're at, which is like, I would if you just give me enough hours and time, I would, you know. So, but you need a resume to show you have experience. It's just, oh my God. Maybe I just put a resume down. Maybe a resume will give me better chances at getting the stuff. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I hate that.
Finding a job now stinks. When I first was getting a job, you go to a place, you fill out an application.
Right?
Now you got to go online, and half time they use AI to look at your resume. They don't even care. Now you got to know somebody. It's the best way to get a job is to know somebody. I was turned down for a job at a company I interviewed for. Was it 2021 or 2022? And I was going to get the job. I mean, I was only actually, to be honest with you, I was the only candidate with experience. And out of the blue, somebody who used to work for this company quit their other job and wanted to come back, and they hired that person.
Yeah.
So, I know somebody who works there, and they said they didn't even interview for the
too.
job. They just called the boss and said, I want to come back, and they hired him. And
you know, it's crazy. I was there.
I didn't get the job.
There was a guy who I used to work with basically like almost the entire time that I had been there at my job, and his daughter worked there at this Walmart. She quit for some reason, then got hired back. Now, to be fair, that might be because they already knew this person, which is fine. But literally, this person came back to get their basically reapplied and got the job back, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like that just happened yesterday. So you know, Michael said you might be surprised. MSK, I've had jobs call a week later. Yeah, you know, they might call back in a week. If you don't hear from them by next week, try calling them. Yeah, so someone said go in person again to ask if
I would.
I don't know, because the problem with doing that is like, wouldn't that come off as creepy? You go back after you got rejected. But to be fair, I wouldn't know if I got rejected.
Well, if they don't, if they respond and say we don't want to hire, it'd be a little weird to go back. But if you don't hear from them, and you go in and you just say, hey, I'd really, just following up. I'm really interested in working here, because that might show some initiative that you care enough to do the follow up.
You're right. Yeah,
it was always recommended to me is when you have an interview to do a follow up email after the interview, thanking them for the opportunity and things like that. I haven't applied for a retail job in a long time. I know the Walmart by my house is always begging for people to work there. Like joking around, I walked in and I have this favorite greeter. She's a really nice woman. And I talked to her a couple of times, and she'll make a joke. Do you want to work here where you really need help? Because I said, you make it look like fun working here or something. And she says, well, you can work here. We're already looking for help. I'll get you a job tonight if you want one. So, I think maybe it's this location and how many people are looking, because there's so many retail places by my house, like groceries and retails like Walmart, Meijer, Kroger, and all those things. They're just always looking for help. I mean, I don't know how many hours these people get, but I don't know the pay.
It's not about the pay. I truly think it's the environment, because if you look at the guys, I can see why people stay at these companies for a long time. You get health benefits. You also get retire. You get a lot of it. What's crazy? Jobs like that are, I'm gonna say mine's not an actual job, but that's an actual job where you get health benefits, discount. That is the only reason why people stay, because it's probably one, pay, health benefits. Come on, if a job like Walmart's is going to give you health benefits, that's fucking awesome. So if you ever have anything bad happen to you, if you need kids or anything, take them to the doctor, it's fine. I heard also you get a 401k, vacation. It's like, honestly, that's any reasons to keep someone at a job for. Have you talked to people? They don't like being there at all. They only stay for the benefits. That's the only reason why they stay. It's because what other reason could it be? It can't be because you just love the environment. Probably not. No, WZ, it's a fat no. Well, not yet. I just haven't been told anything. Basically, they said if you're selected, we'll give you a call back. But I saw some people getting hired on the spot, so maybe they needed people faster for other positions than the one that I want. Because I think a lot of people were applying for the position that I was applying for. So, I legitimately thought, because you know how, like you said, well, if someone knows someone, they'll get you in. I know someone that knows somebody that put in a good word. I don't know if that has worked because the
Now, is
person's
it a
mom.
specialty kind of job, or is it just general work, or is like a certain position, like
Basically,
management or assistant
no,
manager,
no.
those
Do
kind
you
of
think
things? Or
I don't have experience management? I would kill people.
yeah.
No, I applied for being a overnight stalking associate, as they call it, or
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that I don't see why you wouldn't get that job. I mean, just unless they got just too many people working there. Like I
I
had a
applied for another
friend.
one too. It was a food, call it food dispensary clerk. I have a food handler's card, so I can actually handle
Oh, okay.
distributing items like that. Is someone doing construction in your house?
It's my roommate upstairs walking around. We
Oh,
have
you're
a
good.
squeaky kitchen floor. Did you hear
Oh
that?
no, yeah, no. I thought someone was doing construction. I was like, it's 9 o'clock. Those people should be at
No,
home.
we got a loose board in our kitchen, and
Oh,
he
you're
was
good.
walking by, and I thought my mic would
I
get
blame
that
your
squeezed
hair.
out.
Oh my god, have you seen the people that work at Walmart? They have all,
Yeah.
bro. They don't care about that.
Oh, but I was just gonna tell you, a guy I used to work with at the newspaper, he ended up leaving. He went to work at Walmart, and he wanted to work in the deli because he had deli experience, but they didn't have a position for him, so they put him in home and gardens, and they were really desperate, and they made him like the assistant home and gardens manager, and then he ran the department after the guy ahead of him quit. He left there since then, but sometimes they might call you for another thing.
Yeah, I mean, I have a food handler's card, and I knew somebody that worked there. I thought I had all the edges that I need to push myself over the hump, but I don't know yet, guys, because you guys said to wait a week. People have told me just wait a week. Okay, so by this Tuesday coming up,
Yeah.
if I don't hear anything, then I'll just go and see.
Yeah.
Now, I'm pretty sure it's
Mhm.
already a no, but I
Yeah.
guess for my own mental psyche, I'll just go and check.
I
Dude, I was
wouldn't
the
worry
first
about
one
it.
there. I was the first one there for the interviews that day. Literally the first person there. Crazy. Absolutely
Well, they got
crazy.
a lot of applicants to go through. They got corporate stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't be. I mean, it was yesterday, dude. It's not like you did it
Because
4 months ago.
yeah, the current job I have where everything is so fast paced, I'm just so used to something just being like instant. So that's just
Yeah.
also in my brain. Someone said, freaking hell, my ex-girlfriend, she was like, why didn't you just shave and take a shower? I'm like, what do you think I did? Do you think I went in there smelling like some hobo? What the hell? I didn't just go in there reeking, because if you did, you would just be sent away. If you
Yeah.
did smell like that, they would be like, no, sir, you can't have an interview. It's literally just that simple. Like, there was a black guy. There was a black guy, and he was like, he was making the girls laugh or something like that. Maybe that's how you get a job too, is making people laugh. Because he was like, man, I don't care what I'll do. I'll sweep the floors. I was like, yeah, because you mind. Even because people that said like, well, it's gonna be hard work. I'm like, I do hard work now for whatever money I get. It doesn't matter to me at all. Doesn't matter to me at all. Honestly, I don't really care about doing that stuff.
Yeah, we have some fast food places by here that'll do interviews like every Tuesday and Thursday. They'll say come in between 2 and 4, and we
Yeah,
do open interviews. And some people hire. There's Taco Bell by my house. I was actually in there one day with my friend for lunch, and we went in there about 2 o'clock, and they had their open interviews. They thought actually we walked in, they thought we were there for the open interview. That's what they asked us. We were, no, we're here just to eat. Anyway, they hired somebody right on the spot. They were interviewing this young lady sitting a couple tables with the manager, and she says, when can you start? The little girl says, well, I can start on Monday. She says, great. So, I mean, I guess it'll be depending on how many people they have and how many
might as well we'll just
positions.
go
And
apply at Burger King or something. It doesn't even matter. Just I don't even know anymore. I did apply for Taco Bell. They gave me that AI bot thing where
yeah,
you don't really get in. Yeah, now when you apply for jobs, you get an AI bot for a lot of them. It's just good
yep,
lord.
it sucks.
Michael said when I apply for Walmart, I'm fairly certain it was over a month before I heard back from them. I needed a job bad at the time, and it surprised me when they called. Good lord, over a month. My mental sanity can't handle that. A month waiting. Good
Well, just keep
lord.
looking. Just keep trying, keep looking. That's all you can do.
Maybe I can just make an OnlyFans, dude. At that point, just open my butthole or something. Just
Jeez.
hey, if it gets bad enough, no home, no running water, no food, no electricity, no air conditioning, just dead, just automatically just dead.
Well, you're in California. You could just go live in the streets somewhere. A lot of people do that out
You don't
there.
want to
Here.
here. These people are crack. You people are dangerous. These people are not nice. Good lord. All right, let's have some fun here, guys.
All right, man.
Time for quality. Oh, before we go, one really quick thing. I know I'm behind on releasing videos from this show. I have videos that were already done. I just needed to slap a thumbnail on them and then release them. And I have released 3 videos. So keep in mind, I've released more videos today than in the last 7 months. There's other videos I'm planning on releasing. And then once those are all released, I'm going to just cycle through all of this content that I've been kind of not sitting on, but I've just been too lazy to upload for you guys. So when I get all this content uploaded for you guys on this channel, then I'm going to upload all the content on my comic book channel. Actually, I want to fully get caught up this year. I know I've been behind on a lot of things. I want to fully get caught up this year, and it's going to happen. It's just a lot. Video creation, it irks me sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry, Michael. The review's coming eventually. It's coming eventually, dude. Don't worry. Does Walmart have a high turnover rate? I imagine it would. I mean, it's a big, giant corporation. They probably people are probably quitting right now as we speak in certain locations because, maybe their manager was banging their wife. Who knows? Now, keep in mind, I don't have a wife, so you can't bang mine.
Retail and fast food, there's constant turnover because the jobs are kind of high stress and, they got to deal with the public. The public's terrible.
And don't worry, guys. Even though the videos might be late, they're extremely good quality. Don't worry about that. You guys are always going to be taken care of. All right. So, hey, everyone. I am MSK, a.k.a. Master Swag King, coming at you guys today with another video. And if you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about Grant Morrison goes off on Lantern's teaser trailer. So Grant Morrison, the acclaimed comic book writer, actually went off on the newly released Lantern's teaser trailer that came out about a couple of weeks ago at the time of us recording this video. And he's also had some interesting comments for James Gunn's Superman movie that came out last year in 2025. And he said something along the lines of, the movie just really didn't have a lot of good action. Superman just kind of lost in every single fight. Superman wasn't that strong. So, criticism that we would have actually. And, the Lantern's teaser trailer was not that good. And I know people have used the argument of but they announced it was going to be based off True Detective. Guys, I've never seen True Detective in my entire life. I don't even know what that even references to. Because keep in mind, someone could say my thing is influenced or based off X thing, but if I've never seen X thing, how would I know if that's a barrier of entry of good? Keep in mind, I could say, let's say I wrote a book series and it was called Felipe the Dancing Monkey, and I said this series is based off of Game of Thrones. Well, you have a common reference of that because you guys know what Game of Thrones is, even if you've never watched at least a reference of it, right? It's one of these things where just because you say your series is based off of X thing doesn't mean everyone's consumed any of that. Honestly, it just doesn't mean it matters. Honestly, it just means that your shit is just, inspired or influenced by it. Also, this series has someone on it named Damon Lindelof, right? So he's someone who's worked with J.J. Abrams, right? Guys, Damon Lindelof is the guy that is famously known for ruining Lost. You guys know what Lost was, right? So keep in mind, I was never really that much into Lost, actually. My mom was more into it, and keep in mind, Lost fell off for a lot of you guys. You guys explained to me, why you don't like the series later as it goes, and why it has, Lost actually has one of probably the worst TV series endings ever. But keep in mind, a lot of TV series have, the worst endings ever, because basically, it's easy to start, it's just hard to finish. That's like a narrative amongst this stuff, right? So that guy who's worked with J.J. Abrams is also writing the show. Now, he was on a podcast where he did say it as a joke, because you could tell it's in a joking fashion.
That he came out later and said it was a joke, yeah.
Yeah, he even said that, yes, he basically said that, we took out the word green because we thought it was stupid. Now, and keep in mind, I understand he probably was joking. I will give him that. But we know that in the comic book movie world, comic book industry, when it comes to all this stuff, it's been, guys, this is actually an unspoken rule. It's been highly spoken about amongst a lot of people that these guys that are doing this stuff do not care, respect, or even like the fan base that this actually has, right? So those kind of comments, I'm not saying you can't make them. I'm not some crazy censorship guy, but people are it's gonna feed into people's like delusional psyches of like, wait a minute, if he's saying that this is stupid, we already know you guys don't like this stuff. Then it just kind of feeds to that confirmation bias thing. Also, when you're looking at that Lanterns teaser trailer, I know it's only gonna be a few episodes with that stuff though, but first impressions matter, people. You have to understand that in this day and age, it's not like back in Joe's day where like you could kind of just put anything out and it would kind of get viewers because like there wasn't any other major competition. We have so much competition now, guys. And it's not just competition. Everybody is vying for eyeballs on their stuff. You have to really make a strong first impression when, you're attempting these things. And this is DC's cinematic universe, a second attempt at it. Okay, the universe started off with Creature Commandos, which was, I'll say, it was liked by a lot of people. You know what? You got to win on that one. I wouldn't say you should start a whole universe off Creature Commandos, but you know what? Hey, what's old saying in basketball? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So then Superman, I wouldn't say that. I thought Superman was okay. I wouldn't say it was good. It's just okay. It was an okay movie, right?
But it wasn't a resounding success financially,
right,
or critically acclaimed either.
You had Peacemaker season 2, which a lot of people just really didn't like, and like I said before,
people didn't watch
Creature Commandos and Peacemaker season 2. Not enough people watch that stuff, and the ratings on it apparently weren't that good. Supergirl's trailer comes out. I'll be honest with you guys. I watched it. I was like, meh. It just didn't do anything for me at all. The Lanterns teaser trailer actually made me a little bit more upset because I like Green Lantern quite a bit, and it's just like, first impressions matter so much, and I do believe it's gonna become that. I hope it becomes that cosmic thing. But keep in mind, guys, I'm saying I hope that happens. We've seen superhero TV shows that are just downright boring dribble, just straight up garbage, actually, that have none of that stuff. Like, how many times have you watched like one of those MCU TV shows on Disney Plus where like some retarded idiot is like, but in the next episode it'll be like that, and then the next episode comes and it's not like that at all? Come on, guys, you're hoping it comes like that. It will eventually become like the Green Lantern show you hope it becomes. There's no reason to believe that based off of I don't know, checks notes, all the other examples we've seen throughout the years of how superhero TV shows go, right? So I mean, we'll see how it goes, honestly. Also, this is something that DC does do that I hope they do more consistently. Like at the end of the Supergirl trailer, they showed like, well, this movie's based off of this comic book written by Tom King, and the Superman trailer did too. They should do that, though, more often, though. I don't understand. Okay, this Lanterns teaser trailer is going to have a lot of views on it. Why not do your recommendations? Like, if you want to start reading Green Lantern, check out these 3 books. They should be doing that still. They've not done that consistently enough. That also bothers me too. And it's one of those things like, is James Gunn's DCU circling the drain already? It's like, okay, you have the TV shows. Those weren't really watched by a lot of people. Superman, in my opinion, it's on all signs, in my opinion, this is factually true. It failed box office wise. It didn't make any money. It made less money than Man of Steel, which is also itself not a good movie either. We have Supergirl coming up, Lanterns, then Clayface. This is like a make or break year for the DCU. And it feels like we're already circling the drain. I don't know.
And it isn't to a degree because, you took one of your major characters in Superman and you have this movie and it should have done better. And they have the Batman 2 coming out, which isn't part of the main DC universe. It's in its own Elseworlds, its own whatever they call it. And if that comes out and blows away everything Gunn did, he's not going to like that, and DC or Paramount's buying Warner Brothers. They're not going to like that either because technically that's really not going to be part of the main DCU. So there's a lot riding on these next few projects. And getting back to your thing about the first impressions, I get that Lindelof was making a joke about the green sounding stupid or whatever he said. But over the years, comic book fans kind of get a little beat up because, used to be reading comic books, you were a geek and people thought you were a moron and they didn't like you and they made fun of you. Well, then when all these movies got popular, it wasn't as bad to be a comic fan. But some of that still holds over. And then But when they're redoing a lot of these movies and projects, sometimes they just tear apart and they get so far away from the comic books. The true fans of the comics get angry and they get a little sensitive. So then you get Lindelof, who's making the show. What does he say? Well, it's like True Detective and Green is stupid. So it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Now, the Green Lanterns were always kind of the cosmic police force. So having them solve crimes or in a detective way, it wouldn't be bad. I just wish it was in space. But I think the part of the thing that I didn't like was that what do? You got Hal Jordan. He's old. He's grumpy. He's nihilistic. He's a jerk. Like, that's not like, this is a guy, a Green Lantern I grew up with. And then John Stewart came around when I was very young, and he's my favorite Green Lantern. So I'm glad he's in it. But I also love Hal Jordan. And they just made him into a grumpy old jerk. And he's 60 years old or whatever in this thing. And he's not going to be around long. So you already know where it's going. And Guy Gardner is going to appear in this, which I think is fine because Nathan Fillion, he's a great Guy Gardner. And I think he's going to appear in either him or John Stewart's going to be in Supergirl. I believe they're going to make some kind of appearance. But Lindelof came out and said those things. And then Grant Morrison came out and said, well, why did you take this project if you don't like the source material? And that is a very good point. If you don't like it. Now, since then, Lindelof came out and said that he was joking, and Grant Morrison came out and apologized for saying, kind of attacking him on that point and saying, well, he did apologize. That was gracious. So I understand that, that there may have been some miscommunication. But like you said, MSK, this is your first impression on a show after your first few projects weren't that great. I mean,
Yeah,
Peacemaker 2, I don't think did as well as Peacemaker 1. And Creature Commandos, I didn't even know this because I watched it on HBO. I heard they put it all on YouTube for free at one point.
They did.
Oh, they did?
Well, to be completely fair, they've dumped most of that stuff on YouTube for free.
Yeah.
So it's not just Creature Commandos. They've dumped all those classic animated DC movies and TV shows you guys like. It's all on YouTube right now for free. So I will be fair in that aspect. But to just dump a brand new DC show on there with that turnaround that quickly, that's kind of a red flag. Also, it's this other thing amongst people to understand. This is what's crazy is this is the only fan base that I see have people advocating for less faithful adaptations. Now, keep in mind, things one-to-one between comic books to movies, I get there have to be some changes. Understandable.
Yeah, you have to be exact.
But there's this other thing that idiots don't really understand, okay? And I'll just spell out to you. When a book becomes a movie, like it's adapted from the book to be a movie, right? Book fans and people that watch the movie, book fans will never advocate for a less faithful adaptation. A book person doesn't go, well, you know what? Well, this writer on this part of the story, they wanted this, so that must be the whole movie, right, bro? No. Now, I understand it's not the same as comic books because comic books, depending on the character, can have 10 writers or 5 writers or 3 writers. It varies, right? But just the essence of the argument I'm giving to you guys is book fans always advocate for the most faithful adaptation. Now, keep in mind, Civil War, my personal favorite MCU movie, it's not the best adaptation of that comic book, but it's a very good comic book movie. Come on, guys. 2 things can be true. Civil War, that MCU movie, is not a good adaptation of that book. It's not.
Well,
it keeps the essence of the
Civil
story.
War, like how many issues?
Yeah,
you couldn't do that in one movie,
Also, they didn't have enough characters.
Yeah, it was definitely not.
Too. So, but the reason why the Civil War movie works is because it has the essence of the idea in the movie, right? The essence idea is Captain America and Iron Man battling each other. Okay, you can make a movie work off that, but that doesn't make the Civil War movie a good adaptation of that book. Keep in mind, guys, multiple things can be true, but keep in mind, I can also say your movie's not a good adaptation of that story. It's that Flash movie, that horrible Flash movie, supposed to be Flashpoint. That would be an egregious adaptation if we're going off that, right?
It was a mess.
That's why they changed it between Flashpoint to just Flash, right? Yep. So this thing is like, something can be a good movie or a good comic book movie, to be more exact and precise. That doesn't make it a good adaptation. Keep in mind, when James Gunn says that, well, his movie is based off of All-Star Superman, guys, I've read a little bit of All-Star Superman. Just saying to you, it's not. Just
No.
unless you're literally using the most surface level thing of like, well, that's Superman and Lois and Lex.
Yeah, I think it's based off using that logo. Well, they did the Flashpoint animated DC movie.
Yeah.
Flashpoint was really good. So I don't know. I personally wish they came up with original stories. You know, they redo a lot of these, like they did Gotham by Gaslight. They redid The Killing Joke. And I already knew those stories, so I kind of like original. But if sometimes when they do the adaptation, like you said, they could, if they keep the essence of it, but I don't mind when they change some things just so it's a little different. So when you're watching it, you get some surprises. But like they did Secret Invasion as a TV show for Marvel, and it was terrible. It was a terrible adaptation. It was a terrible TV show. So, you know, that can go the other way too. I just wish they would, if they're going to change it, like you said, keep the essence and make it quality like they did with Civil War.
Yeah, and also this thing of, you know, and there's just people that will ask, dude, that will literally in their dying days go, you know what? Things from books to movies can't be a one-on-one adaptation. Anime and manga don't do that. If they're like, I'm just pointing out, guys, there's changes that can happen, but to the point where you're changing the entire thing, that's just your own personal vision. That's not anything adapting, you know?
Yeah.
Also, in the Lanterns trailer that I've noticed that I didn't get a chance to talk about with Jared and Jay Heat when we were talking about the backlash of the trailer, it's not just about the green that people need to notice, though. It's not just the lack of green, which is an apparent thing, too. That guy that's playing Hal Jordan's only signed on for this. So Hal Jordan, the guy what's that word? Who is synonymous
with Green Lantern.
Good Lord, I can't speak. I'm black. Good Lord, guys. Sorry, I watched my CNN. I can't get an ID card at the DMV. Jokes aside, Hal Jordan, who is synonymous with the Green Lantern mantle. Hey, that guy who's playing him in this show is only signed on for one show. I'm predicting they kill him off and we get John Stewart. Come on, I like John Stewart. I think John Stewart's pretty fucking cool. But like, that's it. That's all we get from our Hal Jordan.
Or he walks away, and in the odd chance they might want to bring him back, or he's just like, well, I don't want to be Green Lantern anymore. I'm gonna.
And he's already old. Like,
yeah, he's
the
like
guy that they casted. No offense to that guy, but I hoped that they would cast people that could be used for these roles within like at least a decade of time frame. You know?
Yeah, me too. That's why when they recast Thunderbolt Ross with Harrison Ford was like 84 or whatever, 82. I don't think any more movies, and I don't know. I thought they should have went a little younger. Actually, I don't think they should have recast it. Actually, I don't even get me started on that because I'm going to complain about Cat 4 for an hour and a half because that movie's terrible.
Yeah, I also think another big issue is Hal Jordan, the most prestige known Green Lantern, is only going to be potentially in this show. And keep in mind, maybe he might sign on for a movie. Maybe he doesn't die in the show. Keep in mind, guys, these are all maybes and hopes. But just this might be the only exposure to Hal Jordan. It's just, man, that's so sad. In brightest days and blackest nights, no drama is escaping the DC universe this night. Okay, I'll give him that one. That was a little spicy there. Do you remember when the Green Lantern movie came out, the Ryan Reynolds one? Every ad was saying "in brightest days and blackest nights."
No When I was a kid, we used to say that all the time. We'd pretend we were doing our rings.
Yeah. Green Lantern's pretty fun. Green Lantern's pretty fucking cool. I'll just say I love the mythos. These characters are fucking awesome. So because people ask, why not just be more positive? I'm not just some person that's just positive on stuff. I just, first of all, I just make up observations based on what I see. Do I want any of this stuff to be bad, guys? No, I don't want any of this stuff to be bad. But if I don't think it's that good, I'm not going to tell you it's that good. This is how it works, right?
Yep.
Grant Morrison, one of the most beloved writers in the world of DC and one of the many creators to have tackled Green Lantern, made their feelings known on Damon Lindelof's recent comments about the Lanterns TV show now being called Green Lantern. Morrison shared the following on their Substack. Oh, yeah, because Grant Morrison's such a... Oh, God. I don't mind this guy, but this is a grown man using they, them pronouns. I'm not kidding. He's a grown man using they, them pronouns.
I never seen that. So.
Good. That's why... Come on, he could just put he. He put there. Oh, my goodness. So, grown man using... What the... Grant. As you progress... Do better as you progress to say, got to use that on them, actually. Grant Morrison, TV writer / producer, Damon Lindelof's comments notwithstanding the green in Green Lanterns, green is not stupid. Why does a writer attach himself to this kind of narrative if he thinks it's fundamentally stupid? You don't hand CSI scripts to patronizing writers who condemn forensics experts and their haircuts as stupid. So why hire people who are ashamed and in denial about the comic book material they've been assigned to develop? This is another thing. Rob Liefeld pointed this out. And keep in mind, Rob Liefeld's a controversial figure, I understand, but he even said the same thing in regards to Kevin Feige back like a year ago, where he said he was treated very, very unfairly by Kevin Feige, despite Kevin Feige using his character in their flagship movie that made $1 billion+ at the box office. Like I would imagine there is some level of like distaste these guys in suits have for the comic book writers, though. They probably think they're so much better because they financed a movie off someone else's creation. Also, keep in mind, if you are ashamed of the show, then why even why would a studio even hire people if they're ashamed and don't like it to write it? It's why don't they turn down jobs they're not suited for? That's because they need money. It's really just money at the end of the day. They'd rather write something about a character they actively don't like, don't know about, don't care for, hate the fans of, just for money. It's not like he needs the money. Well, you'd be surprised, dude. You'd be surprised how many guys are actually broke. Lindelof has proven that he can come up with his own ideas. What is this jockish dismissal of superhero conventions intended to prove anyway? Does Lindelof imagine it makes him less nerdy? Is it a bit too late for that? So what's it all about? The only people who give a fuck about the Lanterns TV series are Green Lantern fans. Why alienate them at the start? That feels more like stupid. And keep in mind, I understand that people are going to bring up the casual argument. Okay, let's tackle that casual argument. No offense to people that are casuals, you're going to like potentially whatever they put out. I'm not going to lie. The barrier to entry for a casual has never been more easier when it comes to this stuff. 9 times out of 10, if you're a casual with something like this, like maybe Invincible, even though you've never read the comic books, you're going to like it probably anyway. But keep in mind, they've already won.
Well, if it's good, you'll like it.
Yeah, and keep in mind, they've already won in that regard if you like it, though. Casuals, you don't have like a reference point of what is good or bad. You know why a lot of people think that original X-Men's 2000 movie is good? Because they had no prior reference point of what the X-Men are, so they probably thought that was a good adaptation of it. Keep in mind, guys, that's how studios hook you as a casual, because if you have no prior reference point to what they could be better, they already have you. And keep in mind, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like you said earlier, this is where they bring them in. Now, will that Green Lantern teaser that they put out, would that draw in a casual? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I mean, you show that to somebody who may understand the superhero genre, that they've seen superhero movies, but is that really going to get you excited? Like maybe you like the Avengers movies and the DC MCU. So you see this, Green Lantern, it's a superhero thing, but they're really not acting as superheroes. You see the guy fly. And then when you hear Lindelof, he called it a magic ring, and I know that got a lot of people mad because it's actually not magic. Now, the original Green Lantern from Earth 2, Alan Scott, he did have a magical.
I can understand that. Pure fact, this is the character like 60 years history. It's understandable that you might have a reference point to a run that might have contradicted or maybe establishing this other curl. See, that's fine. All that stuff is fine, in my opinion. It's just when it gets into the aspect of if you think it's. Because keep in mind, these Hollywood guys are very, very snide and narcissistic and sarcastic too. Maybe he was honestly being honest there that he thought it was stupid. And keep in mind, some nerd stuff is stupid, though. I agree with you. But I don't believe
that when you're promoting your movie.
Yeah. That's not stuff you say. Like when I say you guys are disgusting nerds who like nerd stuff and you're and you like don't shower, I'm not promoting anything to you. I'm just making fun of you. That's joking in a sense where it's kind of like time and a place kind of thing. Green Lanterns is a much more evocative and dramatic title than Lanterns, just as Raise the Red Lantern is a better movie title than Raise the Lantern. And anyone who can't grasp why that shouldn't be anywhere near superhero stories. Yes. We've been saying this for years. Yes. Why are you hiring non-qualified people who know fuck all about any of this stuff to write any of this stuff. Thank you. Yes, finally. Keep in mind, is he wrong, people? And keep in mind, he uses they them pronouns. This guy's probably a flaming progressive. Maybe he is. I'm just saying. Somewhat.
I don't know. I don't. Now wasn't that just Screen Rant who said there? Because I never seen his pronouns.
No, I've seen his profile before on Substack. Yeah. He just go by they them pronouns. So cringe. Good lord.
So he's non-binary, I guess.
Oh lord.
I don't know. Like I said, that's his business. I think he can do whatever he wants. But I always said, I'm a live if he wants to do it, it's his business and doesn't really bother me. But I think he's right when he attacked. I don't say attack, but he called out Lindelof on this because if you don't like the material, why are you doing it? But then again, Lindelof came out and clarified, and then Grant Morrison did apologize. I want to throw that out there. That's another article that came up because he didn't realize that it was a joke.
Yeah. And keep in mind, Damon Lindelof, he did apologize. Actually, I will give him credit though. He actually apologized in the best manner I've seen a Hollywood creative do. I've never seen a Hollywood creative apologize in that manner. I will fully give him that. Yeah. But what Grant is saying is not just only for Damon Lindelof. It goes to a bunch of these people. Like, we'll use WandaVision as an example. When the person was asked, is this show going to introduce Mephisto based off of insert whatever? And the lady literally said, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, I don't. Who's Mephisto? I don't even know who that is. And
yeah, like, bro.
Well, they do that stuff all the time. They want to change it to make it better. They always talk about Tolkien now because they're doing all this new Lord of the Rings stuff, and a lot of the stuff as well. Tolkien was problematic, and it's so now they think they can improve upon it, so they're going to change it. And then Lindelof, that's how he's in that interview. He kind of sounded like that. It's like, well, Green Lantern's cool, but I'm going to make it better. Yeah. And, because this is dumb or this is stupid. And I don't know, like you said, I keep going back to that. You said this is your first chance to make an impression. And if that trailer, I don't think is going to attract many casual fans to it.
Right.
You showed that to my sister, who knows probably who Green Lantern is because she had to sit through me watching Justice League and stuff when I was our Super Friends when I was a kid. But she watching that's not going to make her want to, and she's into true crime. So
Green Lantern has plenty of other animated TV series and movies. Oh, yeah. I'd imagine those are. I've only seen a little bit of them throughout the years because this was the time where I didn't have cable, so I couldn't really consume them. But I've seen a little bit of them. Those are not that bad at all. Those are actually pretty solid. So it's one of these things where this is not just a first impression, guys. Come on, Green Lantern hasn't had anything big in years, and people say, but the Ryan Reynolds movie leaned into the fantastical elements of Green Lantern. Guys, listen to me. Outside of the CGI suits, Green Lantern's fantastical and whimsy elements were not the reason why people didn't like that movie. That is the most crock of shit revisionism history I've ever seen. That is not true. That movie is not liked because it is written like garbage and the dialogue is garbage.
And that's why they screwed the villain up.
It has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with the mystical, fantastical elements. That was actually the better part about the movie that a lot of people like. The show might even be good, but how much better could this stuff be if studios were willing to hire the right people for the job instead of phoning their embarrassed friends to water the source material down? Hollywood will die of insularity and inbreeding. Oh my God, this guy gets it. This guy, he get okay. All right. Fuck. Thank you. This guy finally, keep in mind, look, hiring the right people for the job instead of phoning their embarrassed friends. All nepotistic bullshit these people do. And keep in mind, guys, he would know. He's worked with these people before. He would know.
Well, these big studios don't know the material either. So they hear a name. Oh, wait, Lindelof did Lost. Lindelof did this. Yeah, let's let him do this. Now, James Gunn should know better because James Gunn is supposed to be the comic guy. He's supposed to be the, knows this. And maybe Lanterns will be good. It could be. To me, it's hard to envision it being that great when you have James Gunn, who was going to be put in charge of the cosmic aspect of the MCU before he ran into all that trouble with his old tweets. You got a guy who loves that stuff. He's excelled at like the Guardians and did a great job with that. And he's got this opportunity to take a cosmic character or characters with the Guardian, with a whole cosmic police force. And he takes away, he brings somebody in who takes away their uniforms, puts them on Earth. They're not even wearing rings most of the time. And they're going to fight. What's basically going to be some right wing. Yeah. Well,
in a closet.
Well, early on when Green Lantern first came out, a lot of them, he did have a costume too, but they changed it where his ring, and that, that doesn't bug me as much, but I think they had that in the closet to show, well, that the uniforms in the closet, we're not going to be the cartoony superhero right now. We're going to be the serious, we're going to do the training, we're going to do this mystery. And that was a way of showing that. And I think that's a mistake, because now it looks like they're going to be fighting some right-wing nut jobs living in the woods, and and it would be some allegory for MAGA, and you're going to have some Trump reference or something, and they're going to be Nazis, or a reference to that, and it's like, yeah, okay, it's just not a good way to do Green Lantern. I'm sorry, you don't have to have a ton of space battles if you want to save money and stuff, but get him in space, set up a training on Oa, like you can build some practical sets, do something. It's just, I don't know, to just have them driving around in a car in the Northwest. It's a waste. I mean, they should, if they're going to do that, they should have did a Green Arrow Green Lantern, because that's what they did in their comic. When
it's the Time Traveling Heroes. Isn't that the first appearance of Jon Stewart too?
Well, back then they were just traveling the countryside, and oh my gosh, I'm old. I can't remember his name. The guy who did the books. Oh, geez, it's on the tip of my tongue. He did, and it was their whole juxtaposition was Green Arrow was the leftist. Yes. Green Lantern was the right-wing guy, and they went around solving crimes, and they did a great job with it. And they should have done that if that's what they wanted to do. But I understand they want to get Jon Stewart in because he's very popular. And since the JLU cartoon, he has been like the guy a lot of people like and have kind of grown up with. So get him in there. But this way of going about it doesn't look right to me. But we'll see. I mean, it could be good. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, that's the thing is, I understand, guys. They didn't show all the show in the trailer. Yeah, but guys, trailers are put out for marketing. They're meant to be judged because that's, I don't know, your marketing. That's what is the kind of argument? Yes, there are great TV shows that had bad trailers. There's bad TV shows that had good trailers, vice versa. And whatever way you want to splice it, right? They put these things out to be judged. This is your first impression. So yeah, people say, well, you can't judge a book off its cover. Actually,
that's how you judge a book. You read the cover and you read the blurb. And if that doesn't bring you in, you don't read the book. Yeah. That's what the trailer is designed to get you interested.
Yeah, it's designed to get you hooked. Yeah. That's why they put out trailers. Like this notion, and keep in mind, I agree. There could be a bad trailer and then you watch it, it's better. Come on, but that's not part of the argument. The argument is like, this is your first impression. This trailer needs to grab people. Did it do that? The original comments made by Lindelof came during an appearance on the Love It or Leave It podcast, a comedy show where he had jokingly stated it's called Lanterns because we all agreed that the Green Lanterns was stupid. So now it's just Lanterns. I'm going to be honest here. I know he's saying that as a joke, but I do believe that was an actual conversation. I do believe they genuinely went, hey, the Green Lanterns is stupid. Let's just call it Lanterns. I think this is not really a joke. It's more like this is true. He just kind of said the quiet part out loud. However, not long after the podcast episode made the rounds, his statement got strong reactions online, and he is now taking an Instagram to clear up his original statement. And he apologized, so that's fine. But it's one of these things where I will give him credit, though. He apologized in the best way possible. But I think he only apologized because the statement got caught in that. Lindelof executive produces The Lantern Show with Tom King and showrunner Chris Mundy, as it will center on Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, with Kyle Chandler portraying the season hero, while Aaron Perry stars as the new Emerald Knight. The HBO drama marks a return for the lost co-creator after his successful Watchmen TV show, which became an Emmy Award-winning entry for the studio. No one talks about that Watchmen TV show. Who the fuck talks about that?
Dude, nobody watched it. It got canceled. It was terrible.
Didn't they cast a black guy as Dr. Manhattan? What the fuck?
He fell in love with a black woman, and to make her comfortable, he changed his blue appearance to black. I didn't even get to it. It was so awful.
The hell did you say to me?
It was, I don't know. I didn't even get that far. It was so bad. And I know, it's critically acclaimed. And why was it critic? Because, it was a Trump allegory. And, we're fighting fascist right wingers and white people bad, blah, blah, blah.
I remember I remember that book. Okay, so when I was trying to like learn about superheroes and stuff like that, I remember, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that the one where they were talking to like some sort of racist politician? It was like a story arc. They try to protect that guy, and then Green Arrow learns that his Red Arrow sidekick is a meth head or pot head or something like that.
Yeah, they did the Speedy. Yeah, but that I looked it up while you're reading the thing.
It was Roy, right?
Yeah, Roy Harper did drugs, and they had it was in the 70s, and the Green Arrow, Green Lantern. It was by Denny O'Neil wrote it, and Neil Adams drew it, and that was the one where it was the right wing, left wing, and they go on this cross country road trip, and they solve crimes, and they get and they encounter people, and they dealt with that. I remember reading it, but it was so long ago because I read it in the 70s. They dealt with issues like racism and poverty. They went to poor neighborhoods, and they dealt with things like that. It was a very good book. And I was in the 70s, I was like 10, 11, 12 years old reading it. And I guess I didn't get all the stuff at the time, but it was very socially aware. And they did the episode where Speedy was a drug addict. And they had one in Spider-Man too, where they did it wasn't a hero, but a guy in there was addicted to drugs. Stan Lee talked about doing that book. But anyway, so
very good. Crossovers between the upcoming Lanterns series and the DCU are already confirmed, as Pierre will be reprising his Lanterns role in the Man of Tomorrow movie. Which begins shooting this year. So far, it is the only TV show from James Gunn's franchise that is releasing this year. Yeah, so Jon Stewart's going to be the Justice League Green Lantern, which is fine. I like him, but not having an attempt at Hal Jordan for a long-term Justice League member, god damn it.
Well, what would be cool is if these are all successful and they were good, Jon Stewart gets his own movie, because I do like since JLU the animated. I liked him in the comics, but he became my favorite Green Lantern through the animated stuff, because he was done so well in those, and I really enjoyed him. But we'll see what they do.
The DCU's you're good. The TCU's Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters slate also has 2 theatrical films in store for the world in 2026. Supergirl will fly into theaters on June 26th, while Clayface opens on October 26th. Lanterns premieres on HBO in August, so we should be getting another Lanterns trailer about next month or June. So, yeah, I'll ask you, man, what is your final thoughts and opinions on what we just covered? Because I agree with Grant Morrison. I agree. It's been something that a lot of people have been saying for many, many years. It's finally nice to see at least someone that might even agree with them politically, most likely potentially, call them out on some of this stuff, because it's like, I wouldn't hire a mechanic to make me a 5-star meal. I wouldn't hire my bank receptionist to change oil out of my car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, I hired my bank receptionist to change my oil. Now my car doesn't run. Gee, I wonder why. I only could imagine why.
Well, you have to hire people that it's in their skill set, because writing, are different. There's different types of writing. Like, I was a reporter for a long time, and I thought I was pretty good and I could write. But if you hired me to write a screenplay, I've never done that. I might be able to get a outline, but I'd have to really figure out how to write a screenplay to do it. And I don't know if it'd be that good. So there are skill sets, and I'm really glad he called it out, because you can be a very good horror director or writer, but you might not be good with comedy, and vice versa. Mel Brooks did a lot of great comedies over the years. I don't know if I would have hired Mel Brooks to direct The Shining. I don't think he would have done that great with that, but it doesn't mean his work is bad. He's bad at it because his work is great. So like Morrison said, you want to get people that are proud of the work and that want to do the work. And unfortunately now it's, some of the directors are, they're picking people, trying to cast a wider net, maybe to attract other like that have different experiences to bring in more people or from different, or I'm sorry, to give their perspective that might be able to change it a little bit to bring in people who aren't necessarily big superhero fans. I don't know. I go back to Nia DaCosta. They brought her in. She did the Candyman and like one other thing, and they had her do the
Oh,
Marvel.
Nia DaCosta. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Marvels was just, I mean, like I said before, I thought it was okay and I liked it in a way, but it was a mess directorial wise, but I don't think she had much to do with it. I think they just told her this is what you have to do. But then she did Bone Temple, and I really liked Bone Temple. I didn't think it was, well, I liked it a lot. I didn't think it was super great, but I really enjoyed it. But I thought her direction in it was really good.
Yeah.
So maybe I didn't see Candyman, so maybe the horror genre is more of her thing. So maybe she shouldn't go back and do another Marvel movie or a DC movie.
She probably isn't after what happened. That's
You know, but that's okay. But now you bring in Lindelof, who's did a lot of mystery box stuff, you know, with Lost and that kind of thing. And he did The Watchmen, which stunk. So maybe he's going to rebound at Lanterns. I can't say it's going to be bad, but James Gunn wanted him there. And right now I was really faithful. Like James Gunn was doing a good job, was going to do a good job. Now I'm a little 50-50, so we'll see. And I try not to give out too much judgment, but if I went based 100% on that trailer, I'd say I'm not that excited for it. So maybe a new trailer will get me that way.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. And I'm sorry, I was just going to say, I agree with you
good.
that Grant Morrison was good to say what a lot of us think, because his opinion carries a lot more weight than you or I. So
really, you're saying no one's holding out to hear the esteemed MSK opinions?
Well, you know, it's, you know, the opinion of you know, it's like Grant Morrison, Alan Moore.
Oh, you're saying I'm not on the level of
no,
Grant
you're the third guy. You're like the Mount Rushmore would be like you know, Frank Miller, Alan Moore, Grant Morrison, and MSK.
No, so me, the way that I'm thinking about all this stuff can vary on the day, can vary on how I feel about said thing. But I do think Grant Morrison was right on what he said. I do feel like there should be a lot more of a passionate, dedicated attempt and approach to this stuff. You know, you get these people and you find out years later they never read any of this stuff. They never cared and only kind of took the job for a paycheck, which isn't, it's not bad taking a job with a paycheck, guys, only because, like, you know, you got to pay your bills. I understand it, but, you know, like, you're looking back on how much better things could have been with a lot of these comic book movie attempts, and you look at it and you bring it to a aspect in your brain of like, yeah, if they kind of maybe hired people that are a little bit more into this stuff, would it work? I'm not even saying hire comic book writers to do it. You don't even have to do that. They can be your consultants. It's like, James Gunn fully believes you should have a comic book writer as a consultant because he has Tom King there. So he believes that comic book writers should have some sort of say on comic book movies or TV shows if he's going to have Tom King a part of it, right? So, yeah, we'll see how the Lanterns teaser trailer, you know, pans out with a lot of people. And it, you know, yeah, you have the spoiler for that. Didn't pan out all very well. So the next Lanterns trailer should be out very, very soon. Hopefully in the next Lanterns trailer, they actually show you how fantastical and whimsy it can be, but they want to have the grounded superhero approach, which only really kind of works for Batman, if we're being honest here. So yeah, like, they have to understand these aspects for these characters can appeal to different ones. Like, yes, Batman can have grounded realism in some aspects, but not every character is Batman. And I feel like a character like Green Lantern leans better and is a much more awesome character if you lean into more of the mystical, fantastical elements of the character's mythos. So thank you guys for checking out this video. If you guys are returning viewers or new viewers, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified on whenever I upload a brand new video or go live. I am MSK, aka Master Swag King, and we're gonna sign up, guys. See you guys later. Goodbye. Peace.
Take care.
See you later. All right, we'll be heading out of here in just about a few more minutes. Joe wanted to start earlier tonight because he was like, I'm getting old, gotta go to work.
Yeah, I gotta get up early. I haven't had much sleep. I had a very weird dream that I don't know if you guys want to hear about, but I had a dream I was outside and it was real cold and it was snowing, and a bird attacked another bird. It was a cardinal, and this cardinal fell in this puddle of ice water, and I thought it was dying, so I wanted to put it out of its misery, so I put my foot on it and tried to drown it. And then I could feel its heartbeat through my foot, and I felt bad, so I pulled it out, and another bird came up and snuggled up to it to keep warm. And then I woke up freaked out because I thought I was trying to kill a bird. It was really weird. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you guys interpret dreams. Maybe that means I don't know. Maybe I'm a psycho killer. I don't know. But it was a very odd dream the other night. It's still sticking with me. I don't. It just bothers me because I'm really not mean to animals. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. But yeah, that night I woke up about 4 in the morning and I couldn't go back to sleep. And then that was 2 nights ago. And then last night was another night. So yeah, tomorrow I got to get up early.
Yeah,
I
for
get
me,
a little worried
God,
to leave the MSK show.
he's a cloud chaser. Believe nothing that guy says. So, for me, I don't know what we have planned coming up. Tonight we have an episode of the MSK Show with Laps. We're going to be doing a comic book review on Absolute Batman issue 12. Yes, guys, we actually review comic books here. Crazy, right? Crazy line of thinking and logic. So, we'll see how it all pans out. You know, as I always say, I have podcasts and game streams coming up. I should be getting my new PC installed very, very soon too, because you know I need to get that thing squared away. Maybe convince my friend to come over and help me put it in. No homo, obviously, but
Jeez.
yeah. So we'll see how it all goes. I'm gonna apply to other. Yeah, no, I haven't applied to other jobs. Indeed sends me them on my email account all the time. MSK, have you applied to other jobs? Maybe try Amazon warehouse. I don't have any Amazon warehouse nearby. Closest one is in like San Bernardino or
You
San
should-
Diego. That's 3 hours away.
Yeah, you should move to my neighborhood because there's one about 3.5 miles from my
Joe,
house.
Got to go over there and start working, man.
And they are always begging for people to come in there and work. But, you know, I might have to do that if I quit my job. Who knows? I'm going to hang on to my job as long as I can.
Just like, man, stalking, can't do that. Actually, they don't call it stalking there. They call it picking. I almost actually did work in an Amazon warehouse. They call it picking. There's a lot of rules. Oh my God. The pay is very good. I will say the pay is very good. I wish we had one here. I would just go work there. I know a lot of people that actually work there too, but I don't have it in my area.
I got a buddy who's a full-time DoorDash driver, makes a lot of money, but he hustles. He's always out there when there's the bonuses and he works a lot. He loves it too. He can work whenever he wants. But he's one of those guys that like, he'll be sitting at home and a thing come up and say, "Oh, a $3 bonus and he'll just run out the door and take 3 or 4 deliveries and make $40, because they got bonuses because it's cold out or something. So yeah, you gotta. I know I'm not that much of a hustler. I'd be like, oh man, I don't want to leave the house.
Good Lord. This guy just put this girl in a weird wrestling position and it makes her just look like she's getting hard missionary blown out. All right. So I don't know what I'm looking at. If MSK needs money, I hear there's a website for no. We're not gonna start having sex with girls on a prostitution website because I don't have any girl clientele for that. If I had enough girl clientele on the side, if no one knew, I would definitely do it. But I don't have. Keep in mind, guys, I'm not good looking enough to have all these ladies come after me. So
I'm definitely not in that category. Maybe like I'll just start flexing or something. I don't know. Oh, maybe there's a Chubby Chasers website I can go on and make some money. Who knows?
good Lord, man.
Anybody like bald guys? I mean, the other day we were talking about seeing yourself in characters. I was going to make a comment and it got off the track. I said, the only character I see myself as is Kingpin because he's a big bald dude. Other than that,
you know what? I'll see myself as Sam Wilson, Captain America. That's what I should embrace for my personality on social media. They created Sam Wilson, not Sam Wilson. Captain America's Sam Wilson, Captain America was created for people like me. I'm oppressed and all that stuff. I gotta lean into that. Maybe I'll just change everything. I'll just be the Sam Wilson, Captain America on social media. That'll get me some easy followers. I'm like, oh, he agrees with me politically. Good Lord, God,
don't get me started on that movie because man. I love Sam Wilson and I like Anthony Mackie a lot. And I think they did the character dirty and they did the actor dirty in that movie. And I've said it on this podcast probably every time I've been on it. Man, I hate that movie. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. So with that hair, MSK looks more like Static Shock. What's crazy is I've never even saw that show, honestly. But I have to head out. I got to get some stuff done.
All right.
So
you too. Hey, chat. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate y'all.
Later on today, I have a show with Laps to do, and then tomorrow I should be on with Jared, and then hopefully Saturday again to make up for losing Wednesday. I'll have a show with Laps again to do another comic book review. But yeah, so thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK Show. And I am releasing the content from the MSK Show. I'm going to have 3 more videos come out tomorrow because, YouTube only sends out notifications for like 3 videos. So, and I think 3 videos is fine to be putting out a day anyway, So, yeah, the videos might be late, but don't worry. They're actually really good. And keep in mind, as you guys know, I don't care about views like that. So, I'm releasing them and I'm going to try and get caught up as fast as I can. But yeah, see you guys later.